The city is in chaos. Two giants, King Kong and Godzilla, are fighting. Good morning, Arnold. What are your plans for today? Maybe the plan for today is try not to die. Are you scared, Arnold? But what if this is all made up? What if I told you neither King Kong nor Godzilla could survive on Earth? It's pretty simple. Look, the largest man in the world ever was Robert Pershing Wadlow. His height was 2 meters 72 centimeters, and he lived for just 22 years. He suffered from a disease called gigantism. With this disease, the brain releases excessive amounts of growth hormone. Therefore, in the process of human evolution, the norms for height and weight were established, and any large deviations are considered disease. One of the biggest stresses is to the heart, which has to circulate 15 liters of blood instead of just the normal 5. And the heart often can't withstand such strenuous dynamics for too long. But what about the fact that there are other giant creatures on Earth, like whales? Well, everything can be easily explained. The density of water is higher than the density of air, and is almost equal to a human's density. That's why we can float on the surface of salt water. This means that the habitat itself supports the weight of living things. For example, whales, whose ancestors 50 million years ago looked a lot like a dog with hooves. Godzilla and King Kong could not exist on Earth at all because of our friend gravity. But let's say we turn off gravity to scientifically allow for the existence of Godzilla and King Kong. Everything on Earth that isn't fixed to the ground would take off into space. That includes people who, if caught in the open, will be shot off into the great beyond. And those lucky few who find themselves in a room somewhere can still live for some time, until the houses eventually fly upward. And in the end, our planet will completely crumble into pieces. Therefore, in order to destroy the Earth, you don't need to wait for a fight between two giants. You can simply turn off gravity. There are about 50 different kinds of piranha, of which only a few eat the flesh of living beings. All other species are either vegetarians or eat only carrion. Arnie, guess what piranhas you're gonna meet? My smart boy, you're right! Fortunately for Arnie, and to the disappointment of our viewers, in science there has never been recorded even a single case of piranhas attacking and killing a person. Well then, we're gonna have to create such a case. Arnie, jump in! As you can see, you're absolutely uninteresting to them. And what's more, they're even afraid of you. Aggressiveness in piranhas depends on several factors. The first is heat. Add temperature, please. Thank you. This hell will drive anyone crazy. During a drought, the water level in the river drops and finding food becomes much more difficult. This leads to a second huge factor: hunger. Starving piranhas are ready to eat even their sick, weak relatives. And where does that leave you, Arnie? The third factor that affects their aggressiveness is the need to protect their brood. Mom and dad don't like it when their kids are disturbed. Add a small bloody cut as an appetizer, and you, Arnie, are ready to meet the piranhas. The structure of their jaws allows them to tear out large chunks of meat from their prey. Razor-sharp teeth, 4 to 5 millimeters long, can bite through tendons and even small bones. Arnie, you can forget about your fingers and toes. In just a few minutes, you'll have a perfectly clean skeleton. One of the largest representatives of piranhas weighs up to 1 kilogram. But how big should the jaws be so that they can eat Arnold, including all of his bones? Let's increase the size of the piranha teeth by 6 times. Such teeth can easily cut the bones into tiny little fragments. Run, you dang fool! Dinosaurs are very dangerous, whether it's herbivores, carnivores, or even those radical dinosaurs. They're insanely angry, and you would be too if you hadn't eaten in 66 million years. Furthermore, the dinosaurs are getting even angrier now that they see what happened to their descendants over the course of evolution. all the world's leaders have declared martial law. Alas, very little is really known about the true behavior of dinosaurs. It seems the best solution they've come up with is to hire a rabid turkey specialist. Attack! Dinosaurs reigned on Earth for 160 million years, but the fall of a meteorite changed the course of evolution and allowed for the development of our ancestors' mammals. Now, only the strongest will survive. But what in tarnation's going on now? Wait. I think I get it. Over the last 66 million years, the Earth's climate has gotten colder, and the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has changed. It looks like dinosaurs can't live here anymore and are gonna die out once again. What to do? In theory, we could build a Jurassic Park. We'll feed them and artificially maintain the climate. This place could be the most profitable tourist spot in the world. And we'll also be a global supplier of eggs and manure, dino poop. But then again, an ordinary dinosaur eats a ton of grass a day, or more than 100 kilograms of meat. More than likely, the dinosaurs will eat all the fauna in the park and then probably start eating each other until they die out again. No matter how you slice it, the dinosaurs just aren't going to be able to live in our time. Do you really want to save them, Arnie? The only option is to send the dinosaurs back to the past, to their perfect world. Time to say goodbye, Arnie. Oh dear, that's not the bright future people are thinking about. Indeed, by 2050, the Earth is suffering from global warming. The planet's population has grown to over 10 billion people. This overpopulation has caused a shortage of fresh water. Can you imagine? The planet is on the brink of destruction and they're fighting over Pepsi. All right, back to our mission. In 2050, everyone has cybernetic implants. And since enemy drones can detect implants at a distance of 10 kilometers, you, Arnold, are the most undetectable and invulnerable person in 2050. You are the one who will help change the course of the war. Soldiers assemble. And so, Arnold, the enemy has been spotted in the north, but the way is blocked by electromagnetic guns. Instead of projectiles, they fire electrical impulses, and the impulse speed exceeds 7,000 kilometers an hour. We have to find shelter. Quick, go down into the subway. You escaped the guns, Arnold, but there are other problems now. Drones detected by scanners. And don't worry, Arnold. Remember, these drones won't even notice you. You just need to rush past them and turn off the power. Well done, Arnold. The future sure wasn't ready for the likes of you. Keep going, buddy. You're almost there. It's time to get to the surface. Arnold, there are a lot of enemies around. Get into the exosuit. With it, you can become a super soldier and travel long distances without getting tired. And all physical activity becomes 20 times easier than it was before. You're unstoppable now, Arnold. Now you just need to figure out the controls. Arnold, no! You just killed yourself from the future. Okay, well, no time to grieve. Your enemies are coming. You have a flamethrower. Use it. Oh yeah. No one ever thought that one day this would happen in Hollywood. Arnold, look out! A rocket! Arnold! Arnold! Are you okay? Arnold, you were seriously injured. So the doctors gave you some upgrades. Almost as good as new. But there is a problem. Now we need a soldier without implants, and you need to travel back in time and find him. Hey, Arnold, I don't recommend messing with them. Who knows what they could do? Oddly enough, flies can harm humans, and the most dangerous species are found in South and Central America, as well as in Africa. For example, the botfly, which breeds larvae inside animals. Ew. Or the horse stomach botfly, a fly that gorges on horses. After penetrating inside the animal, the larvae begin to build nests right there in the stomach and intestines. Yuck! Then there's the sheep nose botfly, a fly that lays larvae in sheep. They develop inside and then eat all the internal organs on their way through. But there's nothing more terrible than the larva man botfly, a fly larva that chows down on humans. The fly eats only human meat and is particularly fond of savoring human flesh and especially brains. Yikes! Most often, the larvae enter the body with food and through open wounds, but they can also quietly slip in through the mouth, eyes, and ears. And now imagine if there could be tens of thousands of such larvae inside your body right now. I bet just 2 to 3 days would be enough to eat all your insides. There are just 2 ways to survive these little buggers without using special drugs. The first is to cover the affected area with fresh bacon. No, really. Then the larvae will crawl out to its scent. The second way is to cover the penetration site with a thick layer of Vaseline. Due to a lack of oxygen, the larvae will get stuck and suffocate. It worked! Arnie, you're still alive. But you do kind of look like Swiss cheese now. Then again, I bet you'll be just a little more careful with flies from now on. Seems like you played for a little too long today, Arnie. The only sensible solution is to go to bed. Good night, Arnold. Spending the whole day playing video games won't go unnoticed. After such excitement, something terrible can happen. For example, sleep paralysis. REM sleep is a state in which the body is immobilized. With sleep paralysis, your brain wakes up, but your muscles stay frozen. So you can see and hear, but you can't move. During these moments, hallucinations start to occur, and it feels like a demon is sitting on you. But this isn't for long. What's wrong, Arnie? Are you afraid to sleep in the dark? About 10% of people on Earth suffer from nyctophobia, the fear of darkness. Scientists believe that this trait is genetically inherited. Our ancestors were afraid of being eaten by nocturnal predators, and so our imagination paints the most terrible pictures in the dark. Ooh, it looks like there's someone behind that window. Ha! In the world ranking of candy-ass scaredy pants, you, Arnold, get first place. All fear is formed in the amygdala of the brain. A feeling of fear is formed in this little tiny 1.5 centimeter sac. There were actual cases when people's amygdala was destroyed due to a disease called Urbach-White. This permanently disables the fear response. But this most definitely doesn't apply to you, Arnold. You're afraid of everything, even your own shadow. Okay, I'll turn on the light, just so you know that nobody's here. But sleeping with the lights on is a bad idea too. It suppresses the amount of melatonin produced during sleep, which can lead to excess weight. Therefore, the choice is obvious. In order not to become an overweight, yellow-bellied poltroon, you need to sleep in the dark. Yeah, falling asleep when it feels like someone else is in the room is not an easy task. Maybe it's just your imagination. Ugh. Or maybe not. Don't worry, Arnold. They'll let you go if you answer correctly. So, guess what's in the picture? Wrong! And on this one, no! Get it together, man! Such experiments were carried out in the 1950s in the USA. Their goal was to develop paranormal abilities in soldiers in order to gain an advantage in the Cold War. The test subjects were given LSD, since LSD significantly increases the activity of neural connections. Arnold, pull yourself together already. Even a rat learns faster than that. Well, true, this ain't no ordinary rat. He has a chip in his brain. Scientists proved the possibility of transmitting nerve impulses from a distance back in 2013. The rats were in different cities, but they acted together thanks to electrodes implanted in their brains and the internet. It looks like Elon Musk is going to try all the different ways to develop telepathy on you at the same time. Arnold, stop! You haven't mastered your new skills yet, buddy. Mind reading has many benefits. Now, people can't hide anything from you. But I have to warn you, you won't like everything they think about. The pros in a relationship: you can immediately know if your partner really loves you or not. You can understand the language of animals, and you can find your perfect match. But what if all people could read each other's minds? An ideal world without lies or falsehood. Or maybe not. Hey, mister, don't be offended if he thought your nose is too pimply. Gosh darn it, this is a disaster. No, Arnie, stop! Don't even think about it. I've always wondered, how many people can the Train Eater swallow at once? Some information. The Train Eater is a character from within the secret SCP organization archives, which keep records and descriptions of various anomalous phenomena on Earth. At the moment, there are more than 5,000 entries. The result of the experiment: 37 people at a time. Arnold, pack your bags. It's time to get out of here before you get dissolved by Train Eater's stomach acid. Just jumping out of a train at high speed is a bad idea. But you're not on the train. You're in the stomach. Let's get the gag reflex going and get you out of here. Hint, Arnold, try tickling the seats. Like this life hack: how to get out of Train Eater. And now, how to get back home. I have an idea. What if we make a train out of you, Arnie? Railroads are the second most popular mode of transport in the world. The U.S. has the longest railroad track on Earth. Meet Trainold. Honestly, you look creepy, not like Dear Thomas the Tank Engine. If you imagine that all trains had human faces, I think at high speed their eyes would be wrecked. Hurry, Arnold! At night, you can be attacked by the monster train Choo Choo Charles. The protagonist of the horror game of the same name is a monster that appeared mysteriously from the mines where they were digging too deep. It feeds on animals and people. There's a legend that this monster has been living for millennia. Push those pistons, Arnold! Wow, you weren't even stopped by Mr. Beast with his experiment. As you can see, defeating Choo Choo Charles ain't so easy. Arnold, this road leads straight to the cliff. This is your chance. Make Charles fall down there. All you need to do is slow down. Brake! Phew! There are enough people from other countries with 3 degrees and are ready to take on any job. So maybe you'll finally finish school. By the way, the first schools appeared in ancient Sumer about 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. In Sumer, school was a privilege and only boys were taught there. So you're in luck, Arnold. Computers haven't been invented yet, so you have to write on soft clay tablets. Phew, what a mess. Yes, you're very lucky to have been born in the 21st century. What, they won't let you go to school because you're an adult? We need to look for some unusual schools. Look, it's a Doors school, and you're already a fan of this game. Go on in. The first lesson is algebra. Didn't you read the flyer? The teachers here are monsters. It's very efficient. Arnold, didn't you learn the multiplication table? But alas, in vain. Maybe this school also uses corporal punishment. No, Arnold, you doofberry. I mean real punishments. Children were beaten for poor performance in ancient Egypt. And in South Korea, for example, a ban on corporal punishment came only in 2010. In the modern world, school is a standard life stage. But not all children have the opportunity to go through this. So many people use sports to rise up the social ladder. Run fast, Arnie, or you'll end up as someone's lunch. To heck with this school. You already know how to read. Almost 20% of humanity can't read and write. So, math ain't your thing, and sports tire you out. But I know you love plants and animals, especially fried ones. Yay, biology! This teacher seems to have his own views on evolution. Perhaps you should choose another school. Initially, schools simply prepared people to work in plants and factories. Now, children can grow up in comfortable conditions without facing discrimination or physical violence. Arnie, old buddy, old pal, you're in luck. Doctors have managed to improve your sense of smell by transplanting onto you a dog's nose. Of course, you need to get used to it first. But hey, now you don't even need to use a filter in Snapchat. A dog's sense of smell is 100 or even 1,000 times better than a human's. And a doggy nose can smell a smell at a distance of 1 kilometer from its source. With a dog nose, you can even determine a person's physiological and emotional state. However, it's better not to fool around with cleaning products. The smells of vinegar, ammonia, and chlorine are especially unpleasant for a dog's nose. Whoopsie daisy. Arnold, I think you better run away. Pretty cool, yeah? Dogs are macrosomes, meaning they actually live in a world of smells. For them, their sense of smell is like vision for us. So it's not that bad to have a dog's sense of smell, is it, Arnie? 1 milliliter of water contains 3.35 times 10 to the 22nd power molecules. A dog's sense of smell can detect among all those molecules a single chosen molecule of a substance. So, with such a nose, you can always find the most delicious pizza. Or pretend to be a psychic and find people for money. Or even get a job as a king's bodyguard. But wait, instead, you're buying a lottery ticket again? Wait, listen. Do you hear something? What you reading? 1, he might have a scary mask on his face. Arnie, are you sure you really want to be reading this in a secluded park? The second sign of a maniac is a knife or other weapon in their hands. Are you sure you really want to know the third sign? The maniac has huge silicone... Wait, that's not it. He always attacks without warning. Fight for your life, Arnold! Try somehow to divert the maniac's attention and slip away. Never mind. You should run to a public place and get people's attention. Why is no one responding? Psychologists advise shouting fire instead of help. This way, people will notice you faster. Sure, calling the police is a great idea. Now, 48 hours after your death, they'll really definitely start looking for you. Just kidding. Wait until they arrive. Also, gym time is over. Looks like you were able to get away. But don't rush to rejoice just yet. Some maniacs hunt their victims for months and can predict exactly where they'll go next. By the way, dark alleys are a bad place to try and hide. It looks like nothing is gonna help you. Except, well, maybe that. Ingratiate yourself with the maniac. Motives of maniacs can be different. Some want power, others suffer from delusions, and some consider themselves purifiers of society. But absolutely all of them are lonely and deeply hurt people. If you treat the maniac well, then there's a chance you might survive. Yes, you'll have to put up with a few really scary things and listen to his crazy ideas. But someday it will end. The main thing is, never show your true emotions. Remember, salvation will come. Then it remains only to be explained to the police why the maniac considers you his best friend. This is bad. Those guys aren't watchmakers. They're terrorists. And since you gave food to the terrorists, now you're one of them. And you've been sent to a place from which nobody has ever escaped. Guantanamo Bay Prison. Arnold, didn't you hear me? Nobody has ever managed to escape from here. They don't even try, because it's impossible. And if anyone even dares to try to escape, he'll have to find a way to get through 20-centimeter-thick metal doors, down an endless maze of corridors with surveillance cameras, fight off vicious guard dogs, get over super high-voltage, 5-meter-tall electric fences, through razor-sharp concertina wire, and past dozens of guards in every sector. At the moment, 40 of the most dangerous criminals in the world are held at this prison. And you, my friend Arnold, are on the list. Congratulations! Nevertheless, you're not allowed to talk to any of them. After all, every prisoner is in strict solitary confinement 24 hours a day. Speaking of time, it's time to have lunch. Let's see what's on the menu for today. All right, what do we have here? They only have one special prison dish, something called Nutriloaf. Nutriloaf is a prison punishment food made from leftovers without the slightest hint of salt or spices. Good Lord, that makes me want to barf. I have no idea how you're going to eat it, Arnold. So, you're not gonna eat it. You decided to go on a hunger strike as a sign of protest. Oh, and look, how cute. You made a little dolly friend out of bread to keep you company. Well done, Arnold. But I think you overreacted about the food. I completely forgot to tell you, but Guantanamo Bay is not a place where human rights are given a whole lot of thought. So, if someone goes on a hunger strike, for example, he's force-fed with a tube that's pushed up one of his nostrils. Okay, so this plan doesn't always work. But don't think for a minute that this is over. A whole smorgasbord of tortures are waiting for you. Water, cold, music, and electric torture are all being practiced in Guantanamo. And the cherry on top is sleep deprivation. After just a few days of such torture, your brain and muscle functions weaken, your thinking processes and your will can now easily be broken. After a week, due to lack of sleep, you'll start hallucinating. As a result of which, Arnold, can you hear me? Now, what the bejeebers is that? Wow, your bread friend came to rescue you! Arnold, you're free! The only question is, where did a walking bread man get a high-powered laser weapon? As I already told you, Arnold, you're bescrewed, buddy. So, you decided to do a good deed. All of this just for the donuts. Oh, you bastard. Well, no worries. Today you'll have a chance to do a really good deed. The whole planet is infected with diarrhea virus from China, but I made your blood the only existing vaccine. There are 7 billion people in the world, and everyone is hunting for you. 195 countries have posted your photo on all possible media. You're in all of the police databases, and not only the world's police, but all the best special forces in the world are after you. MI6, British intelligence, which has been working around the clock for 100 years straight. ISI, Pakistan's interdepartmental intelligence agency, with the largest residency in the world, 10,000 agents. The CIA, watch out, Arnie, they torture people. The Canadian Intelligence Service, with a search budget of over $507 million. Do you really think you can hide from all of them? You're on every single smartphone and social media. You become more popular than Greta Thunberg. I'm sure she envies you now. After all, you can actually help save humanity. Just give them your blood, all the way down to the last drop. Elite special forces from all countries are already coming for you. U.S. Navy SEALs, the French National Gendarmerie, Chinese snow leopards. But of course, even a random student could catch you. Big Brother is watching you. In New York City alone, there are about 20,000 surveillance cameras. They take photos, compare the distance between the main features on your face, nose, eyes, mouth. Data is converted into a person's numeric code, a face print, and verified with the database. In addition, on the darknet, anyone can buy image databases from video cameras of cafes, hospitals, shopping centers, even near the main FBI headquarters, meaning they can find out where you were just 5 minutes ago. Catch this. These glasses with built-in infrared LEDs will help you to hide your face from the cameras. For them, your face will look like a glowing blind spot. Wait a bit, you forgot the battery. This isn't enough. You need a disguise. It was a bad idea to eat this many donuts. They provoked an excessive accumulation of gases. Unleash the winds! You look good, but search dogs will find you by the smell of butyric acid, the odorous component of your sweat. It won't help that just 1 gram of sweat is enough for the dog to smell you on the roof of that 10-story building, or at a depth of 15 feet under concrete. In the United States alone, there are nearly 7 million drones. Stop waving and take this special weapon against drones. This gun fires a wide stream of electromagnetic emissions, so you don't have to aim. It's enough for the interference stream to cover the drone, and then it'll lose contact with its base and lose control. What have you done? Get lost in the crowd, bone brain! Well, you have to kiss. So, Arnie, any last wishes?